Being prepared and prepping is more than just food storage. It is about food sustainability. Food sustainability is an absolute necessity. There will be no trips to the grocery store to replenish your supplies. Most of us don't think about how fragile the food supply chain is. One event could close everything down. Although we are now seeing more and more shortages, and it's starting to hit home for some of us. Now, no matter how much food you have, 3 months, 1 year, or 3 years of food, it will eventually run out. What if the grid is still down when all of your food supplies are used up? What if there are still shortages or you can't get to the store to replenish? When the grid goes down or lockdowns occur or large shortages are here, you need to have your own source of renewable food. The obvious thing to do is to plant a garden. Let's say you have a 1-year supply of stored food. Should you just eat that for a year and then figure out how to start growing food? No. You should immediately start planting food, planting your garden. Once planted, within 3 to 4 months, you can start harvesting some of the food that you've been growing. Of course, while you're waiting for your garden to produce, you'll have to live off your preps. Let's say after harvesting your food, the food you get from your garden will constitute about 50% of your diet. This is probably a high number if you're just starting out gardening. Now, the other 50% of your diet has to be your stored food. So let's say you have 3 months remaining. I really hope you have more than that, but for instructional purposes, we'll say you have 3 months of food left in storage. Since you're now only eating your stored food at a 50% rate, that 3 months of stored food now becomes 6 months of stored food because, of course, you're eating the food you're growing. Once you're eating the food you're growing, even if only partially, everything lasts longer. And if you can get to the point of storing some of your harvest, you will be even better off. A survival garden is a vegetable garden that allows you to live primarily on the produce you grow. Stored food is just to get you to the point where you're growing your own food. Let me repeat that because most of us don't think about that. Stored food is just to get you to the point where you're growing your own food. Now, potatoes are calorie dense and can be stored for the winter. Winter squash will last much of the winter. Beans and lentils can be stored for a long time. So these are some of the foods you might consider growing, depending upon where you live. I once looked into buying an apple tree. I didn't know you would need 2 of them to produce fruit. So we have to look into these things. It's now time to get self-sufficient for food. Now, I don't have enough room to grow wheat, so I need to concentrate on what I can grow and then hope I can trade with someone. I don't know anything about raising cattle, but chickens are a possibility. Right now, I don't have chickens. I don't want chickens, but in the future I might. The problem is, if I wait until things get really bad, will I be able to get the wood to build a chicken coop? Will I be able to get the chicks? I heard they're really hard to come by and getting to be quite expensive. What about chicken feed? Will it be available a year from now? So I guess I'm like most of you thinking, it isn't that bad now, and I can wait until it gets worse. But ask yourself, can you wait? Other things to do: learn to forage. Wild food is in your area. Dandelions, acorns, pine trees. Think about it. Get some books on wild food. Also, what will you need for a survival garden? You're going to need garden tools, gloves, seeds, maybe a fence to keep deer and other predators away. You're going to need fertilizer. With a garden, all your stored food lasts longer, but then you have to get into canning and food preservation, food drying, food salting. You're going to have to learn how to preserve food. So learn about canning, learn about salting, learn about dehydrating food. You can build a smokehouse. You can smoke meats. You can also pickle things. You can sun-dry many foods and preserve them, at least for the winter. Before grocery stores were plentiful, people had to learn how to provide a steady food supply through the winter. Here are a few more methods for storing your harvest for the winter. Winter harvesting, root cellars, cold storage, and preservation. These methods will provide a more complete diet when fresh fruits and veggies are not in season. Oils and fat are necessary for your diet, but they can't be stored for any length of time. Plants that provide seeds or nuts are a great source of fat. You might try avocados, olives, sunflowers. Learn how to cultivate and store seeds. This is harder than it sounds. Start learning about it before it's too late, or before the internet goes down and you can't check out YouTube for information. Learn how to grow sprouts and microgreens inside. They're very easy. Look into hydroponics. But above all, start preparing to grow vegetables and get everything you need to grow them. And while you're at it, don't forget about getting a medicinal garden. And garlic can be used for food and for medicine. So please subscribe to my channel, like everything, leave a comment, and thank you for watching.